Alright guys, in today's video we are going to talk about why older guys are coming out to the Philippines and choosing to stay single. Stick around, we'll discuss it. Alright guys, so I've met up with some expats over this last week, and funny thing that's kind of reoccurring now is a lot of them just aren't interested in marriage, or even for that matter, even like a long-term girlfriend. And this seems, when I first got here about 8 years ago, I really remember guys coming out here and really kind of looking for the Filipina wife. They were tired of what was available out in the West. There just wasn't wife material anymore. There wasn't traditional women, or at least traditional roles, in the sense that they would stay at home and take care of the kids, take care of the household, things like that, that just wasn't available anymore. So guys were coming out here and they were looking for Filipina wives. And I think more and more, even the traditional Filipina wife is something that guys may not even be interested in anymore. A lot of guys have told me, in fact, the guy last week that I met, he said, you know what, I want to come to the Philippines. You know, there's some beautiful locales. Of course, yes, I know I'm giving up a lot of things because I know it lacks on some infrastructure. But, and I'm excited about dating, but I really have no desire to get married. And I have really even no desire to have a girl move in with me. He proceeded to tell me that he was open to the idea of like maybe a girlfriend, a long-term or a serious girlfriend, but he really did not want a girl to live with him. He said, you know, I eat what I want to eat when I want to eat. So for example, Maya and I might say, hey, what do you feel like eating tonight? Oh, I kind of feel like eating Thai. And Maya says, well, you know, I kind of want a pizza tonight. Well, somebody then needs to compromise, right? And again, for us, it's not really a big deal. You know, next time we go out, we'll eat Thai. We'll have pizza tonight. Next time we go out, we'll eat Thai. Well, a lot of guys don't even want to compromise, right? If they feel like eating pizza or they feel like eating Thai, they will just eat Thai. If I want to take a nap in the middle of the afternoon, I don't need to worry about, hey, do my wife and I have errands or things to do? I'll just take a nap when I want. Do I want to sit around and watch Netflix all day or play video games? I'll do that if I choose. And so a lot of guys are really just saying, you know what? Being a single guy is not really a bad thing. Maybe in the West, it's not great because you can't even get a date. So you're just lonely. But in the Philippines, you can be an older guy and you can be single and not be lonely. You can still have dates. No issues there, trust me. You can go out and get on a dating app, or just get out in person, or somebody introduces you. You can still date. There won't be a problem. You don't have to be lonely. You don't need to be alone on a Friday night here in the Philippines. Where there are some problems are that most Filipinas, they are still very, very family oriented. And even though some of them are stepping away from their traditional, you know, you don't see as many like hardcore traditional Filipinas anymore. You'll see Filipinas, they have tattoos and they're out working and they're watching social media. But most of them still do not have a problem stepping into a traditional role. In other words, being at home, taking care of the kids, doing the cooking, doing the cleaning, the stay-home wife or stay-home mom, or whatever way you want to label it, depending on your situation you have with each other. But again, it will be a little bit hard sometimes because a lot of Filipinos still are looking for that marriage. It's really pounded into their head about you got to get married here. And also the family. So more and more I do see a lot of Filipinos who are very open to going into a long-term relationship with a guy who has told them up front, I don't want to get married again. I've done all of that in the West, and I choose not to do that again. I just don't want to go through that again. It's too gut-wrenching. At least in the West, it really is, and it can be here too. But in the West, you know, you can lose your home. You got to pay child support if you have children, which you should anyway. I'm still doing it myself. And you have to maybe pay alimony in some states. You may lose half of your retirement. You know, it's just not worth it for a lot of guys. Now here, the restrictions or the risk goes way down. And also you can do things like prenup to protect yourself. And they can't be disputed here in the Philippines. The ones like in the US could be disputed. So, again, you probably will be able to find a Filipina who's going to say, sure, yeah, no problem. I understand you don't want to get married again. I'm okay with a committed relationship without having that piece of paper. And where you'll have a problem is a girl, especially one who's younger, in her 20s, who is going to say no to the marriage and no also to having kids. That is hard to find. Now, you may find one who says initially, okay, I can accept that. And I think in the short term, they really do believe I can accept that. I think what happens is you take a girl from the province, for example, or she's been grown up on the farm with no electricity in some cases, with farming and chicken and a hard life. And a foreigner, and it doesn't even have to be a rich foreigner, you could be making $1,500 a month US. And their lifestyle, which is down here, and at the $1,500 mark is up here. So it's still not just a little jump, it's all the way up. Because all of a sudden they're moving into a pretty nice place. They're moving into a place who's got electric. They're moving into a place who's got internet. Well, this is unheard of. Hot water in the showers. Showers for that matter, and not the tableau with the bucket and the scoop. Netflix, an array of movies at her fingertips. So in the short term, a lot of these girls will look and say, okay, no marriage. She says no marriage, no kids. And they look and see what they're getting and how they're more comfortable, more secure, and they're agreeing to it. Where the problem occurs usually, from my experience talking to other expats and seeing it firsthand, is that after a few years, things calm down, the newness of having Netflix all the time and aircon and all these things starts to go down. And now they're sitting around thinking, is this it? I'm never going to get married? But you know, we got to remember, you're thinking from the mind of like a 25-year-old girl. Am I never going to get married? I'll never have that dream wedding. Am I never going to have a kid? And on top of that, mixed kids. Again, I've talked about this in other videos. Mixed kids are the ultimate prize sometimes in the Philippines. A big nose, lighter eyes, lighter skin. I mean, it's really pounded into their head. They're starting to get away from it, but it's still all the Miss Universes, the beauty pageant contestants, the actors and actresses. You get a lot of these mixed kids that are, because the ideal beauty, I guess, are making it big time. And they look at that and they're influenced by that. But a lot of guys are just saying, you know what, I just don't want to run the gambit. I don't want to run the risk anymore, even though it's the Philippines and there's less of a risk of losing everything. You know, I could keep my assets in the US or Canada or the UK, and over here, you know, I'm safe. What's you know, maybe I lose my TV and my furniture or something. But still, a lot of guys are just really just saying no to it all. And I'm seeing it more and more. Versus 8 years ago when I got here, really seemed that every other expat that I ran into was really looking for the traditional wife. Times are changing. Guys aren't looking for that anymore. Guys are starting to accept and saying, you know what? Being single is not so bad. I can do what I want when I want, and I don't have to be alone on a Friday night. Not in the Philippines anyway. Back in the States or Canada or the UK, sure. Not in the Philippines. So they can live a better life for less money. They can still be dating, and they don't have to take that risk of getting married. Now, there's still some of us who are kind of traditional, and I kind of still believe in the whole marriage thing. I'm kind of I would say traditional in that matter. And yeah, I get the comments, oh, you're crazy to get married and things like that. Now, again, like I mentioned earlier, there is much less risk getting married here and than there was in the West. And a lot of people will also say, well, you can't get divorced, you're stuck. That's not exactly true either. You can get divorced in your home country, and you can actually file for recognition of divorce in the courts here where they would accept it. Or you don't even have to do that. I mean, you're divorced in your home country, technically. Now, for me, I am happy in marriage. I like being married. I like having the comfort of coming home and my wife is there. I like having somebody that I enjoy doing things with and who's there, you know, with me all the time. Not having to look for a date on a Friday night. And I'm okay. And we still have our own separateness where we can kind of do our own things. If I want to play a video game, I want to take a nap in the middle of the day, I do it, right? So for some it works. You know, my parents were married well over 50 years till my father passed away, and happy, still holding hands when they're in their 80s, you know. And so I'm kind of I'm kind of old-fashioned in that sense. I still believe there is marriages that can stand the test of time. Anyway, the point is, you can be an older guy and you can come out here and you don't have to get married. You could be a single guy, and just because you're single doesn't mean you are going to be without happiness. For a lot of guys, happiness can be found even more so being single. Some guys have, you know, divorced 25 years ago and they've kind of lived a single life, and they don't even really want to adapt to somebody else's behaviors and you know, likes and dislikes. They are happy and content being a single guy. And the bonus is you could come out to the Philippines and still date, still be single. Anyway, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Let's have that discussion. Don't forget to check out my website, geointhephilippines.com, where you can sign up for a consultation with me if you are moving or traveling out to the Philippines. Check out my hotel list for all the hotels that I recommend around the Philippines that I've personally stayed at. Also, check out my Geo Travel Essentials for all the things I recommend for living or traveling out here in the Philippines. Things I use on a daily basis. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see everyone next time. Ciao.